You're probably here because you've been doing what seekers do when they want something badly. You've been searching. Another video, another explanation, another method, another promise that this one is finally the missing piece. And curiosity is human. Hope is human. But beneath all that searching, there's a quiet tension. The feeling that maybe you don't know enough yet. That maybe you're missing the one insight everyone else somehow found. So let's clear the fog immediately. Manifestation is easy. Not easy like lazy, easy like breathing. You don't earn your next breath by being spiritual enough. You don't deserve oxygen because you journaled correctly. It just happens. Therefore, the real question isn't how do I manifest? You already are. You've been manifesting your entire life. The real question is, why does it feel like you're breathing stale air? And how do you start breathing clean air on purpose? Here's the part most people never say out loud. Manifestation is also an industry, and industries don't always thrive when people are fully free. They thrive when people are half free, just enough results to stay hopeful, but not enough stability to stop consuming. Like a treadmill with a beautiful screen in front of it, you're moving, you're trying, you're doing the work, but the destination keeps moving. And the biggest trap in that world, not just in manifestation but in life, is externalizing your power. Handing your steering wheel to a method, a guru, a ritual, a special technique, as if the universe is impressed by props. So let's reset the definition, because definitions quietly decide reality. Manifestation is not bending reality, it's not forcing outcomes, it's not controlling matter. Manifestation is an internal shift so deep that you are no longer emotionally dependent on the outside changing. Read that again slowly. Not emotionally dependent, because the moment you need reality to change so you can finally feel okay inside, you've made reality your God. And seekers were never meant to live like that, praying to circumstances, waiting for permission, outsourcing wholeness. Think of reality like ice. Ice looks solid, permanent, unmovable. But ice is just water slowed down, same substance, different speed. Now think of consciousness like heat, invisible, subtle, yet powerful enough to move engines. Matter is just imagination that forgot it was moving. So when you stare at the physical world like it's the final authority, you're bowing to ice and forgetting you're the heat. And once you remember you're the heat, once you're good with it and good without it, life starts moving in a way that feels unfair. Not because you found a secret, but because you stopped turning desire into a shrine. Here's the twist most seekers miss. The moment you stop treating what you want like rare oxygen and start treating it like a normal part of existence, the chase flips. Neediness repels. Normalness attracts. Desperation creates distance. Inner steadiness collapses it. You don't force the mirror to smile. You smile. The mirror follows. So if manifestation is internal shifting, not emotional dependence, your mind will immediately ask, okay, but how do I get what I want? Fair question. You're human. You have things to heal, fix, experience, expand. But notice the hidden assumption. It assumes you're not already doing it. It assumes you're waiting for permission. Like your desires are locked behind glass and you need the right key. So try this. Think of reality like an online store. Not because life is a mall, but because the logic is clean. The store has infinite products. Reality has infinite outcomes. What you're living right now, that's your current order. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You've been ordering this whole time. You just didn't realize you were the one clicking purchase. So the question isn't how do I manifest? The question is, how do you change the order? And that comes down to one word. Frequency. Not mystical, not vague. Just your inner weather. Thoughts plus emotion, beliefs plus mood, identity plus expectation. That blend becomes a signal, and reality responds to signals, not wishes. Beliefs, what you accept as true. Thoughts, what you repeat. Attention, what you feed. Emotion, what you feel confident in. Identity, who you think you are. So if someone says they want love but expects abandonment, they're not being punished, they're being matched. Reality is brutally loyal to inner agreement. This is where most seekers get stuck. They think about the desired reality instead of from it. Thinking about keeps it distant. Thinking from makes it present. And present doesn't mean pretending. It means adopting the inner posture of someone who already lives there. Not because you're escaping reality, but because the potential already exists. Like a seed inside a tree before fruit appears. So ask a sharper question. If this reality were already mine, what would feel normal? What would I stop reacting to? What would I stop feeding with attention? What would I stop arguing for? You'll slip. You'll have off days. Old patterns will play like familiar songs. That's normal. You can't always control the first thought, but you can steer the second, and the third, and the next 10. Quietly, without fireworks, the real work happens. Not forcing the universe, but changing the autopilot. Now let's talk about techniques. Affirmations, visualization, scripting, rituals. They can help. But techniques are vehicles. A vehicle without fuel goes nowhere. The fuel is conviction, not hype, not pretending. Conviction is settled knowing. That's why one person swears affirmations changed their life and another feels ridiculous saying them. Same tool, different fuel. So the most powerful technique isn't a technique, it's self-knowing. That moment when you stop negotiating with life and start embodying what you want with the same certainty, you flip a light switch. You don't whisper, please work. You flip it and move on. Here's a truth seekers rarely hear. Too much studying becomes a drug. 10 videos, 10 contradictions. Detach, but feel deeply. Affirm, but don't try. Focus, but let go. Eventually the mind short circuits. Not because you're lazy, but because choice overload kills movement. Staring at food doesn't feed you. Reading menus doesn't satisfy hunger. At some point you have to chew. Sometimes learning is just fear wearing a smarter outfit. And when you see that, something relaxes. Now comes the word that changes everything. Normal. Whatever feels normal to you will keep finding you. If struggle feels normal, you'll keep meeting it. If disappointment feels normal, you'll keep being proved right. If money feels stressful and rare, reality will mirror that. But when ease feels normal, when support feels normal, when love feels normal, life starts cooperating. Not magically, naturally. The biggest mistake seekers make is putting their desire on a pedestal. Sacred, distant, untouchable. Importance creates distance. The more you need something, the more you announce you don't have it. So here's the practice. Don't downgrade the desire, downgrade the importance. Take it for granted the way breathing is taken for granted. Needing shouts lack, knowing whispers possession. And how long does manifestation take? The moment the inner state changes, it's done. The world may lag, but the order is placed. So here's the invitation. Stop making your desire a god. Stop letting the future hold your peace hostage. Bring your power home. Because the moment your stability depends on an outcome, you're waiting. And life mirrors waiting perfectly. You don't need another trick. You need a shift so deep you can breathe again. Let this be the last guide you consume. Close the tabs. Choose one simple practice you can live with. Fuel it with conviction. Flip the switch and move on. Normalize what you want, because whatever feels normal to you will keep finding you. And desires don't chase desperate seekers. They meet the version of you that no longer needs them to be whole. If this resonated with you, share it with a friend. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. Awaken, ascend, become